What's cracklin', everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list, where each episode we take a cereal, put it on the tier list so you know how good it is. I'm your host Tucker, and this episode we're doing Frosted Flakes, but not Tony's. So obviously with the cereal this original, not much for us to really compare it to, except for of course the A-ranked Frosted Flakes featuring our own Tony the Tiger. They did not really try to change this one up at all, but to be fair, they're flakes that are frosted, so not a lot you can really say to describe these otherwise. I don't expect this to be as good as traditional Frosted Flakes, but if it's even half as good, I think I'll be okay with that. But let's just open up this big bag, see what we got. This is a way longer bag than the mini spooners. It actually has less cereal in it, so that's weird. Success. Okay, sort of does smell like slightly off-brand Frosted Flakes. It's gonna throw me off saying Frosted Flakes. I feel like it's never gonna be clear which one I'm talking about. So I'm gonna say, if I say Frosted Flakes, I'm talking about this cereal I'm eating. If I say Tony, I'm talking about real Frosted Flakes. Okay. Oh, large gust of Frosted Flakes in it. Alright, so they look kind of like Frosted Flakes. But not quite. You could, I think, tell the difference seeing them side by side. I don't think they're that close. But yeah, it's some flakes that are frosted. Let's see how they taste though. That's going to be the real question. You can look as close or as off as you want. It's the taste that matters. Here we go. Okay. It's actually kind of close. I don't think it's quite 1-to-1, but for the first time in a while, this is a Malt O Meal. Seems to be very close to the original. After that first bite, my hopes were pretty high for this one, but I found a glaring issue this has. As the pieces just get into the milk, not even sogify, just being in the milk, they lose a lot of that frosted flavor, which, yes, Tony does sogify, but I think Tony retains the flavor a bit better. This one, it's not going full cornflake, but it does lose a lot of the frosted flavor it started with. So that's a fairly big knock for this, because that tastes real solid. Again, not quite 1-to-1, but pretty good. But the fact that it loses it pretty quickly is a big letdown. Okay, I may have been being a little dramatic. Not all of them completely lose their flavor. There are a handful of flakes that still carry like an okay amount of that frosted flavor. But I stand by. It's a much bigger difference from first bite to mid bite than with Tony. So I'm standing by that, but I'm saying maybe not as sort of drastic as I made it sound like. Just trying to be fair. You may have just noticed I was struggling there to fill up the spoon with pieces, so I think that means it's time for the milk. Okay, yeah, the pieces are losing frosted flavor, but they're not completely disappearing. Frosted flavor is showing up in the milk, so that's good. I think that sort of helped carry it a bit, like my dramaticism aside. I think this does help it. Yeah. Like that does happen with Tony, where the milk becomes a good sort of conduit for the frosted flavor. So I think this milk, pretty decent comparison to Tony as well. Overall, I think this did manage to be at least 50% as good as Tony. So again, I think that first bite really messed with my expectations for this, where considering it as a Malt O Meal, sort of, imitation of Tony, I think it is pretty solid. It just, because I was so directly comparing it to an A-ranked cereal, I felt like it was lacking a bit more than I think is fair. So this is good. I want that to be clear. I enjoyed this version of Frosted Flakes. So what I'm gonna do is give Malt O Meal's Frosted Flakes a C. I think it's one of the stronger Malt O Meals we've done. Like with this one, and I think it was Honey Nut Scooters and Marshmallow Mateys, they all do a decent job imitating their original cereal. But besides, I guess, Marshmallow Mateys and Lucky Charms, those are both C's. This one, like Honey Nut Scooters, okay, Honey Nut Scooters comparing to the A-ranked Honey Nut Cheerios, this comparing to A-ranked Tony. It just isn't quite enough for it to really be a B. Like they get enough, I don't think wrong is the right word, but it doesn't match it in enough ways, I guess, to put it just one rank below. I think it does fall to 2 ranks and end up at a C. And to be clear, I don't think this has more issues than Tony does. It still has a bit of an issue with soggification, and while the drop-off in flavor is much more than Tony has, I think that is something that happens there as well. So I'm just trying to make it clear. I think this is a strong, like, imitation of Tony. It just doesn't quite nail enough to be an A or even a B. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you tried this version of Frosted Flakes, Malt O Meal's Frosted Flakes. If you have, and you are a fan of them, let me know in the comments. If you really disliked them and thought they did a bunch wrong, you can let me know in the comments as well. Or if you think Tony and Frosted Flakes a bit closer together than I put them, you can let me know about that too. Or if you enjoyed me referring to a cereal as if it was just someone named Tony, you can let me know about that too. But until next time, stay delicious.